The lifelong family nickname that accidentally ruined my entire life. Growing up in a tight-knit, Southern household, my grandmother always called me her little blessing in disguise. Except, she didn't use English. She used a heavy, old-world Italian dialect from her childhood village, calling me Disgrazia. She would pinch my cheeks, scoop me into her arms, and whisper, "Bella Disgrazia, my favorite little angel." It felt so warm, so full of love. I grew up genuinely believing it meant the light of the family. In high school, I ran for student council president. My campaign slogan, printed on 300 bright pink t-shirts, was, "Vote for the Disgrazia we all need." My parents sat in the back of the auditorium during my speech, making these weird, choking, coughing noises. I thought they were just crying, tears of pure pride. I put it in my college admission essays. I wrote a deep, emotional piece about how being the family Disgrazia taught me resilience, leadership, and community warmth. I got accepted, and was completely convinced that my beautiful heritage essay made me stand out. I even got a sleek, gold cursive nameplate necklace for my 19th birthday, proudly spelling out Disgrazia. Everything changed junior year, when I studied abroad in Florence. On my first day, I confidently introduced myself to my host family, beamed a huge smile, and said, "Hi, I'm Sarah, but you can call me Disgrazia, it's my beautiful family tradition." The mother literally gasped, dropped her porcelain coffee mug, and it shattered all over the floor. The teenage son looked at my gold necklace, and choked on his pastry. They pulled me aside, looking genuinely terrified, and gently broke the news. Disgrazia does not mean blessing. It means disgrace. Or total calamity. My grandmother had been calling me a little disgrace since the day I was born, because I broke her favorite antique vase in the hospital room. 20 years of memories, completely shattered. I had walked around college, written essays, and run a political campaign, proudly calling myself a total disaster.
When a dinosaur expert totally schooled the science teacher. My 10-year-old son, Leo, is absolutely obsessed with dinosaurs. The kid doesn't just watch movies, he reads actual academic journals. So, when his science teacher, Mrs. Gable, told the class that the T-Rex had terrible eyesight and could only see you if you moved, Leo, naturally, raised his hand. He politely explained that recent CT scans of T-Rex skulls proved they had incredible binocular vision, even better than modern hawks. But Mrs. Gable did not like being corrected by a fifth grader. She snapped, called it disruptive nonsense, and told him to stop making up fairy tales. When Leo pulled out a book, published by the Smithsonian, to show her, she actually confiscated it and gave him detention for talking back. Leo came home, completely crushed. He felt humiliated just for sharing the truth. I was furious. I called the school, but the principal just made excuses, calling it a minor disagreement. That is, until I called my cousin, Sarah, who happens to be the lead paleontologist at the city's Natural History Museum. 3 days later, Sarah walked right into Leo's classroom during science period, wearing her official museum gear. Mrs. Gable looked completely stunned. Sarah smiled and told the kids she was there for a special, surprise lecture on ancient apex predators. She pulled up a massive, three-dimensional scan of a T-Rex skull right on the projector, right in front of the whole class. Sarah explained exactly how the eye sockets proved the T-Rex had perfect depth perception. Then, she looked right at Mrs. Gable and said, "It is such a shame that some outdated textbooks still spread that old